chapel this morning. I am so grateful that all of us are here together this morning to celebrate what God has done for us, what He has given to us, and that we will be able to share a time of singing, celebration, worship. And we're going to start our Thanksgiving chapel this morning by talking about what our Christmas giving project is going to be. We know that Hurricane Matthew has hit Haiti in another part of Haiti than where our schools are, but they have a great need there. And our school will be giving to an organization called World Renew. And Mr. and Mrs. Harms are here this morning. They're kind of experts about World Renew, and they can tell us some things about the organization and what they want to do in the country of Haiti. So please welcome them.
Good morning, everybody. Marilyn and I just got back from the Rio Grande Valley in Texas, where we were working with World Renew, helping rebuild some homes due to flooding and some very heavy rain. World Renew is not only in Texas. World Renew has a presence in many places around the world. And one of those places is Dushidi, Haiti, where Hurricane Matthew just wreaked havoc and destruction. Now, where in the world is Haiti? If you can see the map, we're up there way above the United States, up there in the top of the map. And you'd have to make your way somehow down to Florida, and then probably get on board a plane and fly over some of the Caribbean to get to where you see that red star. And that red star represents the country of Haiti. It's an island out there in the Caribbean. And specifically, Dushidi is located where you can see that arrow, perhaps in the southwestern part of Haiti. And that's where you're helping people out. And now Marilyn's going to show you a few pictures and just a little commentary about what happened in Haiti and what World Renew is doing about it.
This shows one of the cities that the hurricane hit. It devastated the cities and towns, and it hit on October 4, 2016. Now, World Renew had been there. Probably some of you have heard of the earthquake that hit Haiti too some years back. World Renew built some houses then, and they built them of concrete, and they were strong houses. They did withstand Hurricane Matthew, but a lot of them didn't. And it also killed many people. It was a bad hurricane, and especially at Dushidi. It did not hit the Many Hands for Haiti and the Pella School, Christian school. It did not hit that part of Haiti. But where Jerry just showed you that peninsula, that's where it hit very, very hard. This shows in the city there's two parts, and there was, the bridge was out, and there was all that destruction. This one shows what it did to the trees. It just took the trees, it took the limbs, the leaves off. It did all that also to the farms. The crops were destroyed, the coffee trees were destroyed. It was a devastation in that part of Haiti. This shows some of the housing, the way it was after it. This is what's left of a school building in Dushidi. I don't know if you can see real well, but the gray part was the foundation, and it just pushed the whole school over, and of course the roof is gone. And I just think if something like that came to our school, it would just be something else, and how the people just had to live through that. This is what's left after the hurricane. And one lady wrote that there were 1,000 houses. Now think of that. All of you, plus a double of you, each had a house, and all the houses, 1,000 houses, only 3 did not have damage. That's how bad the hurricane was there. And so World Renew saw a need. You see that house? What's left of it? You see what need they might have had? I'm sure you do. There's no roof on that house. They needed something to cover it immediately, almost immediately, because the rain kept coming down. And that's where World Renew just about immediately stepped in and helped. They helped with other organizations too. And this next one shows how they distributed food. The food's in the bucket because the farmers lost all their food. So now in the bucket, they had rice and beans and things that they could have and just carry away in the bucket. And then the tarp, do you see that tarp that they had? It's folded up, it's like a big canvas. That's what they are using to put over the roofs first. And there they are, putting the tarps on the roof so that the rain can't keep coming down. And here's another one with the new roof. Now that's the kind of thing that your money will be going for. These roofs don't last forever, you know, and they will be having to put new roofs on. So when you give your money, you're helping to put new roofs on. You're also helping for water supply. They do not have good water supply, and World Renew is going to help give sanitary water to and Dushiti. So this is just a great thing that you are going to give some of your money to help the people in Dushiti, Haiti. And they want to say thank you to you already for what you have done through World Renew. You see, many of the churches around here do support World Renew. So you've already helped. We are so grateful you are helping some more. Now I have a short video that shows just a little more of that.
On October 4, Hurricane Matthew devastated Dushiti, Haiti. World Renew is on the ground. We have delivered tarps to 250 families and plan to deliver another 150 in the coming days. We're supporting the Reformed Church of Haiti by providing 450 families with food. We have purchased 500 household water filters, and plans are being made to develop an emergency water supply program. We're distributing seeds and food to 1,600 households through the Canadian Food Grains Bank for 3 months. You can join World Renew in giving hope to Haitians today.
And I'm Dave.
You know, Dave, this looks to be another great year for gratitude.
That's right, Andy. Our fifth competitors will be given a ruling by our judges based on their ability to express gratitude.
In recent competitions, these games have brought out the worst in some of our competitors.
Yeah, I remember last year.
I hate to interrupt Andy, but our first team is on the field. The judges have chosen a domestic setting with a common dad and daughter.
The judges are really trying to make this first challenge a hard one.
Well, it looks like they're ready, so let's listen in.
You know your day at school today?
I mean, we are learning about history, and I guess it's okay for school.
Oh, guys, that's gonna get some points taken off.
That's right, Andy. She went from positive gratitude to negative sarcasm in only one sentence.
I'm sure things will get better. Your mom and I are very proud of you.
Thanks, Dad.
You can tell they're an inexperienced team here at the Gratitude Games.
You got that right, Dave. In fact, it's their first appearance for Jesse and the dad on the show.
Let's talk about their performance. Let's see their score. Judges?
Not a benchmark score, but at least this father-daughter duo team has something to build on.
That's the only good news here, Dave. That slip of sarcasm had to hurt. Let's hope Jessie learns from her mistake.
Looks like 2 new contestants are making their way to the field.
That would be Rudy and Claire, Andy. These two women have been friends for more than 10 years, and Claire just helped Rudy move into a new apartment.
Let's check in on the action. Your new place looks so nice, Rudy. Thanks. I couldn't have done it without you. You're welcome. Though I do wish you could have been a little more careful with my things. What's there to be careful about? Your things look like garage sale agents. Hey, I was just making a comment about how you should respect other people's stuff more. You almost broke my great-grandmother's vase. That piece of junk. Look, I didn't see anyone else wanting to help you, Ruth, and honestly, I had more fun watching the froth on a latte. Wait, where are you going?
Ouch! What can be more boring than froth on a latte?
Apparently helping a friend move into an apartment. Am I right, Candy?
Oh yes, Andy. This must affect competitors who work closely with someone for a long period of time.
In any event, the judges are making their thoughts known.
Oh no! They started strong and ended weak. The scores reflect the negative tone of the overall performance.
A new team is approaching the field.
This team has been working hard all year to demonstrate their own unique brand of gratitude. Let's listen in.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
Couldn't be better. Thanks for asking.
No problem. I've just learned that nothing is more urgent than not returning thanks.
I felt the same way for a long time. The very fact that a man is thankful implies someone to be thankful to.
You got that right. I mean, gratitude is born in the hearts of those that count their kind missions.
Thanksgiving, after all, is a word of action.
You know, it's not only what we say about our blessings, but how we use them is the true measure of all Thanksgiving.
These guys are shameless. We've seen a lot of gratitude expressed in our years of covering these games.
But these guys are relying exclusively on quotes about gratitude instead of expressing personal thankfulness.
It's a shame, really, because these contestants violated the rules.
They'll just have to be disqualified.
Wait, it looks like we have a new team taking the field.
This is our first trio of the Gratitude Games, and hopefully our last.
Mom, why can't you pay a little bit of attention to me?
Because she loves me more.
Girls, I don't love anyone more than anyone else.
You mean to tell me you love me just as much as Candy, the reporter?
She probably loves Candy as if she was her own daughter, unlike you.
I feel so loved.
You don't love me?
Oh no, I love you both more than Candy, the reporter.
Wow, rude.
I love Candy and everyone else better than you.
Ouch.
Why are you so mean?
I'm certainly not grateful for you.
Gratitude means to be ready to return kindness goes. Why can't you do that?
Because there's no kindness in her.
I have given you plenty of kindness.
Okay, I think we've had enough of that.
Tell me about it.
Well, that was horrible. I can't imagine what the judges thought of that. Well, they had that coming for them.
Let's hope there's no other teams like that.
Well, Dave, it looks like we have one last team here tonight. Hopefully they aren't as bad as those twins.
It looks like this team is a grandpa and a grandchild. Why do you go to these games, Grandpa?
Well, I'm glad you could come, Shaylee.
I just like being with you.
Oh, thanks, Shaylee. I like being with you, too.
There sure are a lot of people here, like a lot.
That is true. They just came to see what gratitude really looks like.
You mean thankfulness?
That's right, Sonny.
That's easy peasy. Thankfulness is a feeling that starts at the very tippy bottom of your toes and bubbles up until it spills out all over your lips. And it fills your brain, and you just can't help but telling everybody you know that they do make your day.
Why, Shaylee? That's about the best description of thankfulness I've ever heard. But you want to know something?
What's that, Grandpa?
Thankfulness is also a choice.
What do you mean?
Well, even when you're not happy, you still have the choice to be thankful.
Even when you don't feel like it?
Especially if you don't feel like it.
Sometimes I just get so full of thanks it leaks out all over the place.
It's a privilege to have some spill out on you.
Awesome.
Well, Shaylee, should we go find the ice cream stand?
Ice cream? Wow, thanks, Grandpa.
Wow, this is amazing. I don't think I've ever seen such a perfect gratitude routine in all my years covering these games.
Well, I'm bored, so let's see the scores.
The man and her granddaughter have such a natural kindness. They almost seem to have a heart full of gratitude well before they take the field.
I can safely say this is the best gratitude exhibition I have ever witnessed. Let's see if we can talk to the winners of this year's games.
Congrats to the winners of the game this year. How did you prepare for these games?
What?
You must have had some sort of epic strategy.
Strategy?
You do know what strategy means, right?
You guys thought we were part of the games. You weren't.
Nope. Speaking of the games, the thought had never crossed my mind.
So you weren't part of today's games?
Yet, our judges gave you a perfect score. How can you explain it?
Well, that's easy. When you're really thankful, you don't have to pretend. I know I'm a great, but it just
Spills out on other people.
And an unexpected turn of events here at the Gratitude Games.
This has been one of the best gratitude games yet. Congrats to Shaylee and her grandpa.
Here's our celebrity judge, Beyonce, bringing out the trophy.
Here's your winning trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to this year's Gratitude Games. Hope to see you next year, and goodbye.
Are you ready for a little story? Okay. We have a Christmas story. It's a good thing, to be celebrating Thanksgiving. I'm so glad it comes before Christmas because it gets our hearts ready, doesn't it? It gets our hearts ready for Christmas and all that means. Okay, I'm going to see if I want to sit here or stand. Maybe I'll sit. I brought my little friend along. I'm just going to set him here. Legs across. He doesn't really have a name yet. He's available. He's available. You'll find out more about that as the story goes on. Do you see that book up there? All of those illustrations for the book were done by your Mr. Hoxbergen, who, you know that. At this cover first, because it says the title of the book, which is The Christmas Mystery. But it says something else almost more important. It's at the bottom, below the moose. It says, A Christmas Treasure. And that's kind of the underlying, really important message that comes out of this book. All right, we're gonna read some of it to you. I want to just tell you, it happened that I walked into my flower shop called Thistles. Have you been in Thistles flower shop ever? Great, great. Okay, well, I walked into my flower shop about a year ago, and we were selling some moose that they came in a box, sort of like this. And they, were such cute little creatures. We had them in the store, and they were selling like little hotcakes, these little guys. So I came in probably, just the week before Christmas, and there was just 8 moose left, and they were like a little family. To me, I walked in and I thought, there were 2 big ones, and then the rest were little ones, and I said, oh, I used to grow up, and when I was a little kiddo, I grew up in a family of 8 people. And so it reminded me of those 8 people. There was I named them like this. There was Martin Moose, who was the father, and Minnie Moose, who was the mother. And then there was Butch, who was my older sister. My dad had a strange little habit. He was really, really wanting a boy to be in his family. And the good Lord tested him pretty good because he gave him 5 girls first. And so he nicknamed all of us with these boyish nicknames. So one was Butch, and then came Louie, which happened to be me. And then came Gus, and then came Carl, and then came Jackson. And then finally, we were all a little relieved when our little brother Bobby was born. So that's how that all happened. And that was just the beginning thought that I had about this little story that, you know, it started to sort of percolate in my brain. So let's see where I want to start here. Okay, I'm going to read, and you can see those pictures up there, which are absolutely great. 1 week before Christmas, Miss Lois, the owner of Thistle, stopped by to see how things were going. And I told you all about this part already, so I'm going to hop over here. So Miss Lois, after all of that had happened and she saw how things were going in this shop, she headed out for home, and it was soon time for Shirley, who was the manager of the shop, to lock the door and go home. Clink went the lock of the door. After the lights had dimmed, everything was quiet. Gradually, a glow started to grow in the store. There was a mysterious sound of little twitters and giggles, and something unusual was happening. The glow seemed to be coming from the little star. A little star had been placed deep inside each of these moose when a master designer, wherever they were made, put them all together, and there was this little star deep inside. And guess what? Their faces were coming alive as they started to slowly stretch and move about. Miss Lois had given each a name to claim as their own their own identity, their own name. And what joy came over them. When they felt joy, those stars just warmed up. The young Moose children started to explore right away, but Father Martin Moose gave this warning. Remember, as soon as a human sees our real who, our ability to be lively is over. Enjoy your freedom until morning, but each of you must be back in place by the time the first human arrives. Mother Minnie Moose was next to speak. I remember another thing our master designer said when he was first sewing us together back in his workshop. It is ever so important to look for the true treasure of Christmas, wherever we find ourselves when we go out into this world. Treasure? Asked Butch. What kind of treasure? Master designer said it is a treasure that can protect us and keep us safe from all kinds of trouble, answered Mother Moose. It must be very special. We should spend some time looking for it tonight. With all that advice in mind, the Chris Moose went exploring, climbing down from their tree and leaping up on the shelves and counters, examining wreaths and ribbons and bells and bright garlands. Before they knew it, the morning light from the outside was creeping in, and Shirley would be arriving at any minute. Hurry back to your places, said Mother and Father Moose, and they all scurried back to the spots they'd been in at closing time, all except for Bobby, who was still chasing a big bell on the floor. And then, clink, went the lock, and there was Shirley. It was too late for Bobby to scamper back to his proper place, so he just flopped down next to the work counter, trying to be as still as a mouse. Shirley walked in. Something was different. She shook her head and got busy tending to business. Pretty soon Maggie came in and was about to begin designing an arrangement of red roses when she noticed Bobby Moose lying on the floor next to her foot. Uh-oh, little guy, what are you doing way over here? She picked up Bobby and tucked him up on a shelf next to a big gold ornament. The next day went by with several customers coming and going, but no one bought a Christmas. Closing time found the family of Christmas slowly coming to life again, scurrying about, finding bits of glitter and crumbles of Christmas treats. Morning came too soon, and once again there were little telltale signs of their evening antics. Father Martin Moose had a big smudge of green frosting right on his nose. He'd been tasting the remains of a cupcake on the kitchen counter. Louie had been playing with a little moose in the sleigh, but she forgot to put them back in the right order. And Jackson was still holding an angel ornament that she just found so beautiful. They were as still as could be, hoping that no one would notice their mistakes. The Christmas were also disappointed that they had not found that Christmas treasure. In came Shirley right on time with much to do. It was just a busy day. And so later that day, Miss Lois came into the store again, and this time she had her granddaughter Claire with her. Claire was a lively little girl, and she loved the shop, and she liked to play with the reindeer and the baskets of ornaments and the figures in the manger scene. Miss Lois took Claire over to meet the Christmas family. She called each one by name, and Claire's eyes grew big. The stars in the moose chests all warmed with that glow, hearing their who announced. Claire noticed something odd about Martin Moose. Well, how did he get that frosting on his nose, said Claire. Shirley looked puzzled and shrugged her shoulders. She couldn't explain it, but she needed to get back to work. Claire went off to play with the toys and treasures throughout the shop, and finally Miss Lois said, "Okay, Claire, it's time to go home." No, said Claire. I'm looking for baby Jesus. I need to put him back in his bed. What? Asked Miss Lois. Is baby Jesus missing? Claire started to cry. I forgot where I put him. Oh, Claire, said Miss Lois, that is very sad, since baby Jesus is the greatest Christmas treasure that there ever was. She pulled Claire up close for a big hug and said, "My little one, it was the birth of baby Jesus that allowed God to save everybody who believes in him as God's only son. If you believe in him, you will always have life. This is not just a make-believe story. It really happened years ago." "Sorry," said Claire, still so sad she'd lost the little figure of baby Jesus. "It's all right, Claire," said Miss Lois. "I'm sure that the little baby will be found before Christmas. Come now, we must get home and we'll check back again tomorrow." "Oh, okay," sniffled Claire, "but I really miss him." And home they went. Shirley was about to close up again, but she quickly looked around for that little baby Jesus, but no success. So something did seem strangely different, but she couldn't figure out what it was. So she grabbed her bag and out the door she went. Click, all was locked up at Thistles. Cautiously, the Christmas family started to move about. Little Jackson was excited because she'd heard Claire and Miss Lois talk about baby Jesus, the real treasure of Christmas. Mother Minnie Moose agreed with Jackson and said, "This must be the treasure that Master Designer was talking about back in his workshop. Let's use our time tonight to search the shop for the little misplaced baby Jesus." And so on goes the story. It's a mystery, you know, so I cannot tell you everything about it. There's some more great pictures, maybe playing up here. But anyway, on it goes. And pretty soon, the search is on, and Claire came back to the store, and nobody had found baby Jesus yet. Except something happened. Drew, her brother, came along that day. And he thought, I'm just going to go over there to that manger and check if baby Jesus might be around. He saw the shepherds and the wise men gathered. There were Mary and Joseph sheltering what he thought would be an empty manger bed, but was Drew surprised. "Claire, baby Jesus is here. He's back in the manger bed. Come and see," said Drew excitedly. Claire came running over to see for herself. In fact, everybody in the shop came to see. Maggie and Miss Lois, even a couple of customers came to the manger to see for themselves. And so they checked, pretty soon Shirley came in, they checked with Shirley. No, I didn't find the baby Jesus. The mystery goes on. And then Shirley had said, I was in a bit of a hurry, I had to go home and babysit, so I just did not have time to look. Everyone looked at each other. Who could have found that baby Jesus? Claire asked. Drew said, it must be a Christmas miracle. That's right, Drew, said Miss Lois. If you find in your heart who baby Jesus really is, it's a miracle in your life. He's not just a little figure like this one in the shop. He is truly the Son of God who came as a baby so many years ago. Jesus came to grow up and be just like us. Except he never sinned, said Drew, and everyone agreed. So they were so happy, but somehow this question was still sort of hanging in the air. No one could explain it. How did baby Jesus get back into that manger? You're going to have to get a hold of one of these books to find out, okay? So, the Moose family, though, they were in their proper places, and guess what? You think their stars were glowing and they were filled with joy? Yes. Well, the last page says, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a blessed life, and that's exactly what we wish for all of you. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and then have a wonderful Christmas.